I've noticed something that I start a lot of my videos by saying, now for something completely different. Well, now for something completely different. Don't go away. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Fat Guy Productions. I am Paul, coming to you as always from beautiful Las Vegas, Nevada. And this is something completely different, especially when we categorize it with the Diecast. Okay, this is something I've never done before. We're gonna take on a Sizzler. Let's get to work. Okay, so today I'm tackling my first ever Sizzler. In fact, I've never even owned a Sizzler. And truth in advertising, this is going to be the second Sizzler. I opened this first one, and it so corroded, the tabs all broke off and stuff. And that was more than I could chew right now. So I decided to put this one aside. I'll probably revisit it at a later date when I kind of know more about Sizzlers. But for right now, I'm just going to kind of push it to the side, and I'm going to work on this Sizzler instead and hope for better looking interior. Now, this Sizzler does not run as it is. I'm not really entirely sure where the problem is, whether it's my charger or the car itself, but we're going to find out. So what I'm doing is I'm using some side cutters, and I'm nipping away the little melted tab at the front. The Sizzlers, they had a little tab at the back that hooked into the body, and then the body dropped down over the base, and it had a little tab that they melted down. So you have to cut that away, which means you're going to have to glue this thing back together. It is all plastic. Now, I'll tell you, getting it apart was a real bear, and part of the problem was I couldn't recognize the base from the interior because the interior forms the grille and the windows and the spoiler, and I thought that might all be the base, but it wasn't, so I was prying in the wrong spot. But it did take a little bit of effort. Finally got it apart, and while, yes, it is corroded, it certainly looks better than the first one, so I think this one stands a chance. Now, you have to understand something. These little electric motors are really stout, okay? The only way to really ruin one is, one, the bearings go out, or two, the copper windings around the motor are damaged, which will prevent it from running. This doesn't look like it has any of that. Okay, so moving on, we can go ahead and pull the interior and grill and spoiler and everything out, and then we are left with the plastic body, which is also a point of concern. And like I said, this base doesn't look terrible. There is corrosion and things I'm going to have to deal with, but it doesn't look that bad. I think I should be able to get this. So I'm going to go ahead and just try and get this battery out of here, which in and of itself was a little bit of a challenge. It didn't want to come out, so I had to use a little bit of persuasion. Fortunately for me, perseverance and a tiny screwdriver, and it's all good. We got the battery out of the car, and yeah, it's a mess. Now, for the replacement batteries, there are short ones and long ones. This is going to use, obviously, the short one. You can buy these on Amazon, eBay, that is. You can get both kinds on eBay. They're really affordable. And barring there being anything else wrong with the car, that could be the big fix. Now, I'm looking at all the contacts. Other than having some corrosion on them, they're whole. They look sound. I think we're okay. Now, I am going to do a better job of cleaning these contacts, but for right now, I'm just kind of curious, and I'm taking an X-Acto knife, and I'm just scraping away a little bit of that acid that had leaked out, and everything looks pretty good here, so I'm feeling hopeful. Again, the main issue with these cars is somehow the motor itself damaged, and I'm thinking not. The back wheels move freely. Everything seems fine here. I'm going to hit this with my brass bristle brush. It's nice and soft, and it'll help clean this up a little bit. I'll do an in-depth cleaning here in a little while, but right now I'm just, kind of tending to my own curiosity so I can look at this car a little bit. Anyhow, so it's a little cleaned up. We're going to put it this side. Now what I want to do real quickly is I want to check my chargers. I have 2 of these, and they would not charge any cars. And I couldn't tell if it was the batteries or the charger. So we are going to put this charger to the test and see if this is the problem. So I've got my little voltmeter, and we're just going to touch it to the 2 contact points on the charging plug, and then we'll push the button and see what we get. This is a lot easier looking than it actually is. You have to be a little bit coordinated. I am not. All right, we got it. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Now we got it. Okay, let's get these contacts. See, I need my other hand to push the button. So, okay, we got them. We're going to push the button and watch the screen on the voltmeter. And 3.2, which is, I believe, the rating on the battery. So that should be exactly what we need. This charger is working as far as I know. So that's a good thing. So far, so good. All right, so here is the base I'm going to work on. Here's the one that is dead. And it's dead because basically it corroded off the contact points for the batteries. Now, these batteries have installed little tabs on them. I think I can use those to my advantage later to fix this car, but that's a project for another day. Now, I'm going to do a quick test here because I don't know how Sizzler Strip will behave with the plastic body. So I'm going to take the car I'm not doing, and I'm just going to dip the front end in. There you go. Get a little coat on it. I'm going to just let it sit the shortest amount of time, and then I'm going to kind of start picking at it and see what happens. Basically, what I'm trying to find out is, will the paint come off without melting the body? I could go to super clean, but this paint is probably pretty tough, and that might take a while to get it off. But it looks like it's taking it right off this Sizzler Strip. It looks like it's just loosening up almost immediately, and that's what you really need, because we want to get the paint off as quick as possible, get the stripper off the body as quick as possible, so it doesn't have an opportunity to damage the body in any way, shape, or form. So I'm feeling really positive at this time. So what I can do is I can go wash this car off, hit it with the brass bristle brush to really get a full idea of how it's going, and then we can see. And if we like what we have, then I can do it to the body of the car that I'm doing today here. So I'm just going to plop the whole thing into the Sizzler Strip real fast first, and then I'm going to take it to the sink. Okay, so here we are. We're back from the sink, and I haven't really hit this up with the brass bristle brush yet, just a toothbrush to get the all the scamots off of it. And the body is still in one piece, and the paint, for the most part, is gone and or loose. So I'm feeling really encouraged about this. Now, your mileage may vary. I mean, I don't know, but, right now it's looking pretty good. One thing I noticed is that the little stickers they had on here were not impacted whatsoever, so I'm going to peel those off. But then I'm going to hit this with the brass bristle brush and see just how clean and ready for paint I can get it. I got to tell you, I'm pretty happy. That worked really, really good. Um, I really kept it in the citrus strip for just a minute or two, and so now, encouraged by my success, I'm just going to clean up this little melted tab at the front of this car, and then it is going into the citrus strip. So again, this casting only sat in the citrus strip for maybe 2 minutes tops. And then I plucked it and washed it, hit it with a toothbrush to get everything off of it. And I'm back now. And it may not look that much different because it's a white plastic that had a white paint job. But yeah, it cleaned up really nice. And what didn't come off is coming off pretty easily with the brass bristle brush. So yeah, score one for the home team. All right, I'm feeling like we've turned a major corner. We're not there yet, but I feel like we've really made some great progress. So let's head over to the paint booth. So for the life of me, I can't remember the name of the Mustang in Gone in 60 Seconds. It's Alice or Phyllis or something like that. I don't know. I'm going to paint this somewhat like that. I'm using a metallic dark gray like a gunmetal. This is a flat paint. It doesn't matter because it's going to get clear coated. So I don't really need to worry about it. But we're going to go ahead and paint it that color. We're going to put a nice thick black stripe right down the center of the car. Hopefully it will look really, really cool. So I am using Tamiya paint, and so that means leveling thinner and X20 thinner to get it down to airbrushable mix, and then we'll go ahead and start laying the paint on. And I know I didn't say it, but let me head you off at the pass before you put it in the comments. Yes, I did prime this. I used a little white Tamiya fine primer on this. So the paint is on, and I printed out some black stripes that I can choose from. For some reason, these didn't come out really good. I don't know if my toner has settled and needs a shaking, or if maybe I'm low on toner. But anyhow, I got what I needed out of it, so it didn't matter. I'm just going to do one single thick black stripe right down the middle. So I'm just cutting that out, and then we'll go ahead and lay it on the body. Okay, so I've got the stripe cut out, and now I'm just going to cut them to length, making sure they're longer than I need so there's room to wrap them around the edges and whatnot. Basically, the hood, the roof, and the back. So we get all those cut out, and then like any other water slide decal, we soak them in some water. We put a little water on the car itself, and then we slide these on, nudge them into position, and this case, it's gonna need solvent because the hood has like a power bulge in it, and so I need that decal to kind of settle into that. So we will use some Walthers on it after everything's in place and let it sit and soften and conform to the shape of the body before heading back to the paint booth for clear. Yeah, I'm really liking the way this looks, and frankly, I'm kind of an idiot. Seriously, I'm kind of stupid. I should have finished up the whole base and made sure everything there was working before I went to all of this trouble, because this could come back to bite me. I could go to all this trouble and then the car won't run. So at this point, I gotta do nothing but hold my breath and see how it goes. So now we're back and we're putting down the clear coat from Bright Vision, and you know how I love this stuff. Well, soon you're gonna see me try a different clear coat. Paul Bechtel from Diecast Graveyard has developed a clear coat for our hobby, and he's sending me some to try out. And I'll do a casting with it and let you know what I think. But the bar's high, Paul. Okay, so you know how I feel about my Bright Vision urethane clear coat. So the bar is very, very high. We'll see how it stacks up. I'm excited. Can't wait. Okay, so now we're back to the base where I probably should have been before doing all that work to the body. I have some WD-40 contact cleaner. And I don't mean like the kind in your eyeball. You don't squirt this in your eyeballs. This is to clean up electrical contacts. And the point is, remember I told you about the copper wrappings on electrical motors? Well, they're protected by a coating, and if that coating is damaged, your motor is dead as a doornail. So this is specially formulated to make sure it doesn't hurt any of the components. So I have sprayed a little bit on there, and I'm just kind of brushing around with a clean toothbrush, and then I'll kind of pick at it anywhere it needs it, and then I have a special trick up my sleeve. I really want to make sure that I get good contact between the built-in contacts of the car base and the battery. And so my special trick is a little sanding stick. Oh yeah, buddy. I'm just going to hit up the contacts with this sanding stick and make sure there's nice, fresh, shiny metal there for the battery to connect to. So, if you know electrical stuff better than I do, please put something in the comments here. But I'm going to say this: make sure you put your battery in the same way it came out, or your car might run backwards. At least that's my belief. If you put the battery in backwards, it'll probably still run, but it'll run backwards. So, you got to make sure that you have the polarity of the battery correct. Also, what I'm going to find here is when I stick this in, first of all, you got to remove this little protective plastic wrapper. But after you do that, you're going to pop it in. And what I found is mine was really loosey-goosey. So after I do that, I'm going to go ahead and get a pair of needle nose pliers. And I'm going to bend the contacts out a little bit to make sure everything fits nice and snug. Now, these metals are really, really thin. So if you are going to do this, just be really careful, okay? Go slow and easy. Don't overdo it, okay? I'm just bending them a little bit to make sure that I get good solid contact. But really, really be careful, because you saw the other car. That corrosion ate right through the metal, and there are no tabs there. They're gone, okay? So you have to be really, really careful here, and you kind of have to understand how good or how bad are your tabs. If they're already just super, super fragile, I wouldn't do this. I would think of something else. Now, moment of truth. I don't know if this battery has any juice in it, but let's pop it in and see what happens. I got a little too tight. And the car started running immediately. It started running immediately. I had it on. I thought I had it off, but it started to run immediately. I am so insanely excited at this point. First of all, because this is working, and second of all, because I didn't waste a bunch of effort on that body. This is working, it's running, and I could not be happier at this point. Man, I am excited about this. I got to tell you, that's so great. Okay, so let's turn our attention back to the car. The glass is molded into all this one big giant piece. It has the grill, the tail, and I realized I don't want to just dump this whole thing in there, because I don't want the spoiler to be glossy and stuff like that. So I'm going to take this throwaway paintbrush. I'm going to dip it in the gauzy and just blop the gauzy on the 3 windows, which I have polished with the Flitz, and then I'm going to let that wick off and dry, and that way it's only on the glass parts. I still want the glass nice and shiny, but not the other things. So there you have it. And then we'll just kind of wick away any extra, put it in the onion saver, and we can move on. Okay, so the body is looking sweet. I'm loving it. I think it looks great. You know, I realize it's not the gone in 60-second car, but it has that kind of vibe, and I'm digging it. I think it looks really nice. And it's pretty much time to get this car together. Okay, so the assembly was real straightforward. You just popped in the interior and dropped the body onto the base. And to lock it all down, I used my gel control CA glue, just a little bit on the tab. Don't overdo it, because you may someday need to get this thing apart again to change the battery again. So I just put a little bit on the tab, closed it up, and let it dry. And here is the finished Sizzler. It runs. It looks great. I could not be happier. But hey, wait, hold up. Proof is in the pudding, right? I think we need to see this thing on a track. So I just threw together a little bit of oval track. I didn't go too whole hog on it. It's just a couple pieces to make sure that the car works. It does, and I gotta tell you, I'm happy as a clam. This was a lot of fun, and man, I think it came out fantastic. Well, there it is, my Sizzler in all its glory. It runs, it looks way better than it ever did, and it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. Um, a little bit different challenges to overcome, especially if you get a mess like this one where everything's all corroded out. But I do think I have an answer for this, so we'll see about that in a future video. But yeah, it's something different, something new, and something fun, and I hope you loved the video. If you did, please give it a giant thumbs up, click subscribe, and don't forget to click the notification bell so you never miss one of my videos. As always, if you have any questions or comments, leave them down below, especially if you have any Sizzler tips or ideas or tricks or whatever. I'd love to hear them. All right, that's going to do it for today. I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. I hope the rest of your day is just unbelievably splendiferous. Until next time, this is Paul from Fat Guy Productions saying, be good.